Hey y'all. So I am here today, mostly because I have not been vlogging this week. So I go through these phases, like I'll be super, super productive and that's awesome, right? But then after I do that, my brain is just like, okay, that was cute, but now that's over, correct? And so what I'm hoping is gonna happen that since this week was like a little more low key, still productive, but just a little more low key, I can have another high key week this coming week. But anyway, so I asked on Instagram, I put on Instagram that I needed some questions. I wanted to do a Q&A. And so I'm here. I'm going to pull them up here on my cell and I am going to answer these questions for you guys today. All right. So the first question is, how is the new project going? So the new project is going. I'm honestly pretty nervous about it. It's been a pretty big undertaking for me. I've been getting good feedback on it from my betas so far, so that does help some. But I have just been it's a lot. It's just a lot happening because you have the Predators Motorcycle Club, which is Tati is the second in command, and then we have Onyx, who was named by my patrons over on Patreon, former Thorn, who was introduced, both of them in Maybe One More Time. We have these two different factions that I have to figure out. There's a ton of world building. There's a ton of backstory. There's all these different layers that I have to kind of try to meld together. A lot of character development that has to happen. And so it's taking, I don't feel like it's taking a long time because I'm already at what is probably the halfway mark, but it's definitely, a weighty project to take on. And this is going to be full length. I don't think it's going to be my last full length of the year. I don't think. But it's going. And that's really the best I can give it. All right. What's our next question? Next question is, what did you do for work before you started writing books? Before I started writing books, I was a graphic designer. I had my own little graphic design firm. I was customizing people's blogs for them, designing logos, helping develop and build websites, stuff like that. Back when blogging was really, really big. Most people are kind of focusing on social media and stuff now, but this was back in that day. I learned how to do that. I was very, very much self-taught, starting on Black Planet, and then things evolved from there. And I was able to get into Photoshop and just kind of play around, dig around. I love playing with settings and messing around with stuff like that, playing with fonts, playing with colors, all kind of manipulating photos. All of that stuff is really a passion of mine. And it's knowledge that I was able to take with me into, once I did start writing books, I was able to bring that with me into designing covers, promotional materials, all that kind of stuff. I've never had to pay, to have a cover design because I was able to do my own. Writing books works a lot better for me because I don't really like the back and forth of a service-based business. Y'all are difficult customers. Y'all are difficult customers for the books sometimes. So that was not my ministry. I'm very glad to be doing what I'm doing now. Next question. How did you find your beta readers? My beta readers are all women who are readers of mine. 90% of my betas that I work with now are women who have been betas for me since I think my first project that I used betas for, I want to say was maybe Didn't Mean to Love You or something like that, which was still back in 2014. So it's still been a minute, but I didn't have betas back when I was writing Love and Other Things and stuff like that. But anyway, they're just readers. They're just readers who I picked up, who were always, very supportive, very vocal, readers that I just kind of got a different energy from. And and please don't think that if I have not asked you to be a beta reader, it's because I didn't get good energy from you. It's not that at all. It is all very, very random. It's very random, and it depends on right in the moment. Like it'll be something vague, and I might think, oh, so and so would maybe be a good beta when I do decide to pick up new betas. And that might be 2 years from when I first had the thought. But then I've continued seeing that person, over all that time. And so then when I do feel like, okay, maybe I need to add a fresh voice to my team, I guess, of betas, I already have it like stowed away in the back of my mind from something random that's who I'm going to ask. So I don't do that. I don't do it often at all because I like to have a certain cadence with my betas. I'm lucky to have been able to find that. I do have some people who, have done a project or two for me, and then, for whatever reason, I didn't ask them back, but it's not personal. Again, it's just a certain it's a certain energy flow. I don't know how to explain it better. It's a lot less like woo than what I'm saying. I know when you use like energy and stuff like that, it can have like a certain vibe to it, but that's really not what I mean. It's more like, she seems like she's really enjoying it, and she's getting feedback back to me pretty quickly, stuff like that. I mean, more than just that, but stuff like that are the things that I kind of look for as hallmarks of, of a good beta. And then it's personality too. But again, I don't pick up betas often, like, because once I have you, once I have you, I'm like, you're gonna be here. It's hard to try to kind of pin down like a real rhyme or reason to it, because there kind of isn't any real rhyme or reason to it. Next question. No question. Just want to say you were an inspiration to me. Thank you, because the reason that I appreciate it is because I really, really try very hard to kind of, I guess, demystify this process as much as I can for other people who might be coming along like behind me, because there was so much of this that was just not apparent. Stuff that I had to like dig to find out, and stuff that there wasn't even any digging to do. I just had to try it and see what stuck. Like I just had to figure it out. I had to get it out the mud. Process of self-publishing and, figuring out your lane and finding an audience and writing the books and, the business parts of it all. I kind of just try to do my best to make it easier, I guess, for other people so that they don't have the same struggles that I did. I genuinely want to be helpful. And so when y'all tell me that I am, I'm like, yes, exactly what I needed to hear. Okay, so I'm actually going to connect these next two because they're kind of, they're kind of similar to each other. Will Connecticut Kings ever be an audiobook? And I love all of your books. Can we get more books on audio platforms? So this question is kind of twofold, or this answer is kind of twofold. I don't know if Connecticut Kings will ever be in audio platforms because we have a very specific vision for it that is very, it would require a lot of resources. And I don't just mean money. I mean, well, yes, money, but engineering, talent, because we would want a different voice for every person. Every person would need to have their unique voice because there's so much crossover. Just different things like that, like a lot of different elements and a lot of different layers that makes it just a difficult project to conceive. It's going to be very time consuming and it's going to be very expensive. And so I just honestly I do not know if that is an investment that we can make. Maybe in the future that won't be as much, it won't be as much of a hard question, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. A lot of those same reasons factor into my answer about getting more books, more of my work in audio. I'm trying. I'm trying. I think that a lot of people don't understand how expensive it is. For one, you have the option of, selling or licensing your rights to a production company, which is not my preference. As an indie, I like doing things myself. I don't like signing over rights. It's just, just being transparent. I don't like signing over rights, but I've done it, but it's knowing what I know now, it's not my preference. So I have to do this myself, and it costs thousands of dollars to produce an audiobook. And then also, audiobook readers are incredibly picky about who they want to hear, about who they, want to listen to. And so it's not just that it's expensive, because if it was just expensive, it's like, okay, we can manage that. But it's expensive and it's risky, because what if I don't even have to say what if. Like, I've spent thousands of dollars producing an audiobook and y'all don't want to listen to the narrator. And so, that's just what it is. And it makes it a little scary, and it also makes it even more difficult to get audiobooks produced, because these narrators, they're incredibly talented, and we definitely understand why you want to listen to them, but they don't have unlimited time. They have limited schedules. Like, there's a finite amount of time and energy. It means there's a finite amount of audiobooks that they can record in a year. So it not only is it a risk that I have to balance and measure, but it also takes time. I just had an audiobook that was the files were delivered this week, and this is October. I got on the schedule for that audiobook last November. And it's not that they just took forever getting it back to me. It's because of what their schedule looked like. That's how early I had to get on the schedule in order to have that finished. And so I think that it's a lot more difficult than it seems like, on the other end, especially with me being an indie. So I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. Like, pretty much every narrator that I know, I'm back on their schedule. Like, I will let you know what book when we get to it. But for now, if you got a space here, however many months away, go ahead and write my name down in that space. And then when we get to that space, you hit me up and say, hey, CCJ, what do you want me to record? I'll figure something out, but go ahead and pencil me in right now. But I'm not the only Black romance author trying to get an audiobook created. There's hundreds of others. And so that just increases the difficulty of trying to make it happen. All right, next question. I'm gonna do two more. These two are fun. I'm gonna do two more because I feel like I'm getting the video is getting a little long. So I'm gonna do two more, and it's only midday. So any questions that any questions that I get after this, I'll do them in a different video. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer these last two, and I'm glad that they're together because they're both fun. A song that is currently stuck in your head. So it's not technically even a song at all, but Fooling Around with TikTok and Keke Palmer. But I know it ain't the stallion. It's your girl. Like that, rent free, okay? Like on a constant loop in my head. And I don't even know what to do about it. Like what do you do about something like that? You don't do anything about it. You just let it happen. You just let it happen. And then my last question for today, what is your spark of joy right now? I've got two. The first is my Sorry Can't Writing crew neck that is from Nicole Falls, from the Nicole Falls shop. That it is honestly too hot to be wearing, but I didn't care. I just put it on with shorts to make it make a little bit of sense that I'm wearing a crew neck right now. And my other spark of joy is something that came in the mail today. My candles, like the Jackie Ina's Forever Mood brand. Listen, I love a good expensive candle. And these, baby, like, you can't see it, but I've got my stack over there. This is my fourth set of minis. These smell so good. These are the newest collection. And look how pretty, like, it's always so freaking pretty. Like, I love like an and aesthetic. Okay, I'm very into it, and this is going to be like the little spark that I need to start coming back in here in the mornings and lighting my candles and all of that. And we gonna do what the box says. We gonna open we gonna open to get lit, and we gonna make some magic happen with the predators slash roses and thorns. All right, that is all for me today. Like I said, if I get any more questions, I'll just answer them in another video because I don't want this to run too long. And I'm honestly hungry. I have not eaten anything today, but I have been up and out and about doing this and doing that, and I'm exhausted, so I'm about to find something to eat. That's my third spark of joy. How about that? My husband barbecued yesterday, so there are ribs and burgers and baked beans and potato salad and greens in my fridge waiting for me. Yes. Yes. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with a friend, all that good stuff. If you have something else that you would like to see from me, any suggestions or anything like that for videos that you would like to see from me, please feel free to drop them in the comment box below. But for now, I'll holla. Bye.